There are three functions that are essential to performing the role as a branch manager in the painting industry. The first and by far most important is production management. This function consumes about 50% of the branch manager's time, as it requires him or her to delegate and manage tasks on the job site as well as oversee the project as a whole to make sure the company is meeting the client's standards. The second most important function is recruiting, which accounts for 30% of the branch manager's position. This is important because the branch manager is responsible for sourcing, interviewing, and onboarding his or her own team. Due to this responsibility falling solely on the branch manager, about 1/3 of the position's time is allocated for this task. The final function, sales management, makes up 20% of this position. Although the least amount of time is spent on this task, the branch manager needs to be able to create his or her own appraisals for projects as well as create marketing pitches for the team.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, sir. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Take a seat. Alright, so right off the bat, I have to ask, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Weibo, Wengo?
No, Wembo.
Wenbo, okay, alright. Glad we have that out of the way. Alright, so I was looking at your resume before, and I guess the first thing I want to ask right off the bat, is English your first language?
No, I'm from China actually. So Mandarin is my first language, but I speak English fluently, so I don't think it's a problem.
Alright, just we'll have to work on that. Alright, so I guess just, you know, do you like golf?
No,
Not
sorry.
big on golf. Alright, that's another thing I'll note down. Alright, would you say that you are a responsible person?
Yes, I believe I am.
Alright, I guess we'll have to leave time to judge that. Alright, so I'd say you had a pretty solid interview, and yeah, that's about it. So, get a phone call. Yep. Nah, dude, you can look yourself out, it's fine. No, you want to do dinner plans? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Alright.
Hiring manager Ryan set the tone for this interview when he clearly struggled with pronouncing the candidate's name. Prior to an interview, the hiring manager should study the candidate's information so something like this does not occur. In addition, Ryan gave Wenbo an unstructured interview that had no clear direction and asked questions that were both inappropriate as well as unrelated to the job. Ryan also attempted to show the like me bias when he asked Wenbo if he enjoyed golf or not. Had Wenbo answered yes, then perhaps Ryan would have been more inclined to hire him for the position. Now, let's take a look at what a good interview should look like.
Hey, Robert, how are you?
Mr. McSell, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
So right now I'm just looking over your resume and everything's looking great. I guess we just have a few more questions to ask you.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Alright, so the first question I have to ask is if you could just tell me about a time you were pressured, you had a very large house to paint, and you had a colleague who just wasn't really doing their fair share.
So yeah, I actually had a job last summer where we were working on a 4-story house, and I advised a team of 4. And one of our team members decided that he wanted to take a break without telling me, and he was sitting down in the shade. So, I put myself down and I went over to go speak to him, and when we discussed things, he told me how he was exhausted and, the sun was getting to him. So I was like, you know what, alright, I let him take his break, and I told him to do whenever he can. So I went back to doing what I was doing, and while I was painting, I thought to myself, I should make the executive decision to actually move our painting hours to make it so that everybody could work during the later half of the day, so it's less hot out and people are more effective with their work.
Alright, that's pretty much what we're looking to hear. I guess the next question is going to be, you finished painting a house, and the client just wasn't satisfied with the job, even though you did everything that the client had asked you to do.
So of course I would listen to the client and be completely understanding of what they have to say, because at the end of the day the client is right no matter if we did it correctly or if we did it incorrectly. So then after that I would include them in our planning stage of how to fix the situation, and Of course I would listen to the client and be completely understanding of what they have to say, because at the end of the day they're right no matter what. And then I would actually include them in our planning phase, and I would have them show me exactly where we went wrong and see if we could possibly paint over what we did, or maybe add on to the current project. And then after discussing that with them, I'd create an action plan for the team so that we could finish it accordingly.
We'll definitely let you know by about next Wednesday. You should definitely know. It was really nice talking to you, and have a great day.
Yeah, well, thank you for getting in touch with me, And I look forward to speaking with you guys.
This time around, Ryan approached the candidate with a structured interview. He asked both a behavioral question as well as a situational question. These questions were created to see how the candidate performed in the past and how he will perform in the future. During the behavioral question, Robert utilized the STAR technique to give the hiring manager a detailed understanding of how he handled a similar task in the past. Ryan will now have to assess Robert's answers using a scoring key to see if he's a right fit for the job.